the show bags first.
G'day guys and welcome to the Canberra Show. We've got Steering the Future here, we've got Beck's Transport Training, we've got Revolution Driver Training, and we've just been joined by Tamus from the Labor Party. Tamus, welcome.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here, Anthony.
Excellent. Tamus, we've just had a bit of a short catch-up in regards to some positives and some negatives and what we can improve on in especially the transport industry. And I believe you've been talking to Kate from Beck's in regards to some of the improvements we can make. Tamus, how much do you know about the transport industry?
Yeah, not as much as I'd like. We had an early discussion. My grandfather was a farmer and my wife's father is also a farmer. So they were heavily involved in needing transport, like transport resources, take off crops, take off animals and bits and pieces. And my father-in-law drives heavy vehicles because he's in the RFS.
Yep.
But in terms of the specific transport industry, I know more about Aussie rules and rugby league than I do about heavy industry. But that's a part of this new job. I've only been here for 5 months. I'm learning a lot about a lot of different stuff. Yeah, and what the discussion we had 5 minutes ago was as much as I've learned about the need for regulation in an area of industry in as short a space of time as I could imagine. Extraordinary. As you said, there's some holes.
Yes.
Yeah, gaps.
Yes, big gaps. And we've got to start filling them. And how we start filling those gaps is, I suppose, working together and creating an assignment that we can both work on together and spreading the word to government to try and get a bit of support, get them to realise the gaps that we've got. How do we fill those gaps? And how do we get people around to rally the government to support? So in that space, what would you recommend to Beck's Transport Training and to our associations to move forward with that?
Okay, so I've only been in part of the ACT government on the backbench for the past 5 months, but my best assessment at this stage is to do what Kate and yourself have been doing. Like, you're building up a organisation that is representative of a number of industry transport training organisations. Make sure that you have for a local government, it's got to be a clear objective, it's got to be feasible, and that's in terms of feasible and people power, and it's got to be persuasive. So what you've suggested to me in terms of improving the regulation of training of heavy vehicle industry drivers, that seems to me to meet all of those principles, right? And so coming to government saying, when you are getting your license, you don't need to do a logbook. Unlike when you're getting your car license, you do a logbook of 120 odd hours to expose yourself to a number of different situations. You don't need that in a heavy vehicle, right? So asking government, why is that? And here is an alternative model that we think will improve the outcomes for heavy vehicle industry drivers, which will improve just normal, like every road user's experience on ACT roads, right? Because there'll be better trained drivers, and people can be comfortable that there are better trained drivers, and the industry will have that sort of foundational training support.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then it is ideally listening really carefully to the organisation, putting that argument towards the government, being open to other questions and other arguments, but as I said in Shawshank Redemption, time and pressure. Yes. Right? So the pressure has to be thoughtful and feasible, but we have time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, start early and go hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Kate's conversations that she's been having with members of Parliament have been quite strong. Kate's been going with solutions to the gaps that we've got at the moment. And obviously there's always going to be a gap in there somewhere which we've got to fill. But the priority is at the moment, we need more regulation in the ACT for heavy vehicle training. We need consistency, and we need government to understand the reality of what our industry is. So I think you've got a pretty good idea from our conversation earlier of what we're going through at the moment. Look, I think we can make change. Our campaign at the moment for this show was to introduce the young learner drivers into the simulator here in the semi-trailer to get an understanding of what the car can do, your stopping distances, your speeds, etc. like that. And then when there are further questions about why is this set up like this, we're talking about exposure. Exposure from a learner driver, driving around a heavy vehicle. There's so many learner drivers that are so hesitant when they're around a heavy vehicle, how they can commit.
Not even learner drivers.
No, correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and because also you're worried about what you don't know.
Yes, absolutely.
So
there's a good sign up there, that yellow sign up there where you got all the trucks blind spots. That's Be Truck Aware.
Yep.
We're campaigning on that. And that's what we want all drivers to be aware of. You've got your caravan towing drivers. Some of them are truck aware, but some of them also just sit there and the truck driver's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And that's your general driver. Now, when I've got a student that comes in on a Saturday morning, all right, and their career base is office base, and I say, okay, you're going to struggle today, but we're going to work with you on it. And they say, why am I going to struggle? Because I'm on the road every day and I see what's going on the road. You don't. And that's when they freeze and they go, oh, okay. By lunchtime, they're exhausted.
Yep.
Why is that? Because we're so focused and concentrating.
Learning's hard.
It is.
It's important.
It's always going to be a challenge. So, what Beck's Transport Training want to do is work with Revolution Driving Training, work with the government, and try and fill those gaps, and let's have a positive outcome. This negative outcome that everyone's slamming each other is no good for either of us. So let's work together, continue working together, sit down and have those conversations, and let's get something happening.
I'm looking forward to doing the work.
Awesome.
You know, what it started 20 minutes ago, you came and gave me a bit of a bake.
Yep.
And now there's an option, you know, instead of saying I can't make promises on behalf of the government, I'm on the back bench.
Yep.
But and when you're looking for a backbench, when you're on the backbench, you're looking for issues that might make a difference,
Yep.
where you can work with good people who know what they're talking about to present a really persuasive case
Yep.
To the ministers within the government. So
Absolutely.
It's been a very good morning for me.
Awesome. Well, Tamus, I know you're short for time.
I am short
But,
for time.
mate, thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you
over
very
to have a
much.
chat. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure we're looking forward to catching up with you.
Damn right. Cheers, mate.
Good on you. Cheers.